Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today you are going to see me do a full crochet install on one of my clients. I'm a traveling hairstylist, so I did travel to my client to do her hair. In the background you'll see my daughter moving about and running around. My client does have an in-home childcare facility, so that's why you see all the stuff in the background of my daughter moving around. But I will be doing a full crochet install on her today. So what you saw me doing was just making a part from ear to ear. So now after I've done that, what I'm going to do is just start to put the braids or the base in for the crochet install. What I usually do is I'll braid the top half or the front half first, and then I'll move to the back half. And I'll just let you guys watch how I braid the top of her hair. So here the clip is just fast forwarded a bit. As you can see, when I braid the top of the hair, when I get to the area where she would normally wear a side part or where a side part would be, I tend to connect those braids so that they don't go straight back, so that the part where her side part would be isn't as long. So where I know her side part is going to be, if she flips her braids, I usually connect those two braids, as you can see in the video. And right here I'm just going to the front of her head just to make sure that I have her middle part down the middle, because you don't want to have a crooked middle part. So I did finish braiding the right half of her head. As you guys can see, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 braids. She has 7 braids, and I'm just going to duplicate that same 7 braids onto the left side of her head, making sure that I keep that part intact as well on the left side and in the middle, just to make sure she can wear her hair to the right, to the left, or in the middle. So what you guys see me doing here is, for the first braid in the back, I always do this for all of my crochet installs. I take the first braid that's in the front on the side of her head near her temples, and I take that braid all the way down along the side of her head and the back of her head, creating one long, smaller braid. I do this on the opposite side as well, and then I connect that braid to the braid that's at the back or at the bottom of her head. And I call this braid the anchor braid. This braid I use to place crochet braids here closely together in case she ever wants to pull her hair up. So this is one braid going from the side down and along the back on the right side, and then the same thing on the left side. From there, the rest of the braids in the back, I usually take the braids in the front and connect them by 2s and make these braids bigger. So I just make bigger straight to the back braids at the back at this point. And then I connect these braids. I pull these braids up and connect them into one another, so that when I'm done, I just have one tail braid. That's it. So once all of the braids are in her hair, I have just like this tail, which I crochet in between the other braids because you don't want that just hanging. So I just take that and crochet that in and out throughout another one of the braids just to conceal it. So the braid we're going to be using today is the Freetress braid. She has them in the 14-inch in the Gorgeous Loc, and she has them in the color T27. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to start with what I call the anchor braid. It's the longest braid that goes from the side of her head and goes along the back. And what I'm doing is I'm just using the normal crochet method. I'm just opening the latch hook, taking the loop portion of the crochet braid, placing it onto the latch hook, closing the latch hook, pulling it through, and then using the crochet needle to create the knot. So right here, what I'm going to do is just show you guys again exactly what I'm doing. So what I want to show you is the crochet braid, which has a loop at the top of it, or a little hole at the top of it, and then you have your crochet needle. With the crochet needle, it does open and close with this little latch, and that's how you're able to get the hair through the braid. So once the needle is through the braid and the latch is open, you place the loop of the braid, the crochet braid, onto the hook portion of the needle. Once it's on, you pull through, and then you place the end of the braid through the loop to make the knot. So I just continued those steps along the entire braid that's at the back of her head as I'm showing you guys. And like I said, I'm placing these braids really close together just in case she ever were to pull her hair up, that it will conceal the rest of the crochet install. So from there, with the rest of the install, I tend to do the back half first. And when I do the back half, I don't place the crochets as close together as I did that first anchor braid, because you don't want a really heavy or thick look with the crochet braid. So I am spacing these a little further apart than I did those on the initial anchor braid that you saw me do earlier. So once all of the crochet braids are installed in the back, I do move to the front of her head. When you're at the front of your client's head, you do want to be careful with installing the braids and make sure that you don't place them too closely together. If the braids are too closely together, you will end up adding too many braids and the install will look really bulky. You also want to make sure you don't space them so far apart that it's obvious to tell that it's a crochet install. You want it to look as natural as possible. You may want to use a braiding technique like the window technique, or you may want to stagger your braids when you install them in the front, just so that they cover one another and you don't use so many that you create a bulky style. And this is the final look, you guys. She absolutely loved her hair. She is able to wear multiple parts to the left or to the right, as well as pull her hair up if she would like. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope that you comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.